Hi guys, how are you all doing? And welcome back to Dr. Bami's channel. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Click on the notification bell as well so that every time I upload new videos, you will be the first set of people to get notified. So in my last video, I promised that I would do a video on internship proper. I want to assume that right now you have gotten a placement, or you have gotten invites for some interviews, or maybe you have someone somewhere promising you not to worry, that you'll definitely get a placement. But whichever way it is, I just want you to be rest assured that you will definitely get a placement. Sometimes it could be really scary, you're just wondering and then you're bothered about time. Don't worry, your own time will come, okay? Whether you started your internship or not, or you're still awaiting your internship, this is the best time for you to watch this video. MDCN has a list of hospitals where you can have your internship done. You are limited to federal government hospitals and then the state government hospitals. People think there are differences between the federal and the state. Yes, first of all, in terms of facilities, the federal government hospitals are far better than the state hospitals because the federal government invest so much in those hospitals, in anything that has to do with the federal government. So they have enough equipment, they have facilities, and most of them are teaching hospitals as well. They have capable hands, and most of the consultants are well paid. So they just have enough resources, human resources. The state government doesn't really invest in state hospitals. So most of them, they lack human resources, they owe salaries. And at the same time, the salary scale differs. So federal government pays more compared to the state government. In terms of salary, well, for the interns, I would say maybe the salary difference is probably 10,000 naira or 20,000 naira, depending. I'm not so sure. I didn't have my internship at a state hospital, so I really don't know. But at that time, I was paid 179,000 naira, and that's without the monthly deductions for ARD. Now, ARD is an association of resident doctors, and interns come under them. Like ARD is like the umbrella for resident doctors and also interns. So now you already know what hospital you would work at. Now, what are the things that you need to do? What would help you to be an effective and efficient intern? Number one, be nice to everyone. I understand that, being a doctor, when your work coat, flaunting your stethoscope and all that, you feel on top of the world. Yes, we all know that feeling. But once you get to the hospital, reduce your ego. Everyone is important. The nurses, the porters, the cleaners. You want to be nice to everybody. Trust me. You want to be nice to everyone, especially the nurses. If you are not nice to nurses can frustrate your life. I'm serious. Like, once you're not nice to one nurse, that can influence every other nurse to be nasty to you, to frustrate your work as an intern or as a full doctor. Trust me, even the ogas, the consultants, registrars, senior registrars, they respect nurses. The first thing you need to learn about being an intern in a big hospital is to be nice to nurses. It costs you nothing to be polite. Just greet. Oh, good morning. Oh, good morning, ma. Oh, good morning. How are you? How was your night? Just be nice. Just be polite. It's as simple as that, because that will save you a lot of stress. And apart from you being nice to nurses are always on ground. Nurses are the ones you find on the wards. And when you are confronted with some procedures that you can't get done, that even your ogas will not teach you, the nurses are the ones that will teach you. Now, if you're not good with lines, a nurse can pull you through. Catheterization, a nurse can pull you through. Like, the list goes on and on like that. So you really have to be nice to nurses. And don't be proud. Be humble enough so that you can learn from them. There are so many things that you can pick from nurses, even if it's not related to you being a doctor, because it could be useful to you later on in life. No knowledge is lost, like I always say. You learn everywhere. You learn from people. So please and please be nice to nurses. Be nice to everyone. It costs you nothing to smile. Okay? So secondly, you rotate through different departments. Now, there's the Department of Pediatrics, Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, the Department of Internal Medicine, and the Department of Surgery. So usually, all interns rotate through all those departments, and in each department, there are units and also sub-units, okay? Now, during my own time, we only rotated through 3 units in each department because we were a lot of interns, so there was no way an intern could go around all the units in the department. Now, for instance, in internal medicine, there's neurology, nephrology, dermatology, endocrinology. There are so many units. The reason for this internship is for you to have an in-depth knowledge of what you do. So imagine rotating through a unit in 1 week. It makes no sense. You can't really learn so much within the space of time. So every intern spends a maximum of 3 months in a department. So now imagine you spend 1 month in each unit, which is enough. In 1 month, you should be able to see a lot of cases. Even though that is still short, you can definitely still pick a lot and learn so much. In the space of 3 months, during one rotation, you are entitled to 1 week break. So that is, you have 1 week leave. Although in some hospitals, like my colleague said, some people had 2 weeks break. But at the hospital where I did my internship, we were entitled to just 1 week leave. In surgery, you could rotate through urology, general surgery, orthopedics, bones and plastic, cardiothoracic units, so many units. You don't get to rotate through all the units, but whichever unit you rotate through, try to make the best out of it, okay? Everything is always for a purpose and no knowledge is lost. One of the tips that I would give to you is that during internship, interns are expected to be proactive. In fact, interns are like the errand boys and girls. You get everything done. In fact, before anything gets to the consultant, it would have to pass through the intern, from the intern to the registrar, from the registrar to the senior registrar, and finally to the consultant. When you wear your ward coats, now this ward coats that you feel is fashion, right? You feel, I just throw on my ward coat and then I pull my stethoscope probably on my neck and then I walk around hospital. Internship is a real life to that. Now in your ward coat, make sure you have sample bottles. All the sample bottles. I will just put up all the bottles and their uses up here. Make sure you have all these bottles because sometimes you need to take samples, and these samples are very important, and yet you wait hours for the patient to go collect a sample bottle. Now, for patients to run tests in government hospitals, they have to pay. So this is what you do. You fill the forms for them. They take it to the revenue unit to make a payment. And after making the payment, they take it to the lab where they are given bottles. And after that, they bring the bottle back to you. Now, imagine the patient going around and you are supposed to get this done. Imagine a patient going in for a surgery, right? For instance, someone who is meant to have a CS. You have to get all those things ready. You have to cross-match the blood. So, when you have your bottles with you, you are being proactive. You take your samples, and in that way you even get to tell the patient, okay, when you get your bottle, let me know, I'll come back, and then you replace the bottles. It's all about being proactive. If not, you end up walking around the hospital the whole day and you don't get anything done. I'll talk about O&G. O&G is more like a very delicate department. That department is special. You know why? Because there is zero tolerance to maternal mortality and neonatal mortality. So they always try their best to make sure there are no casualties, no mortality. When you start your internship, one thing I want you to know is this. You will definitely meet people there who are probably still having an ongoing internship or about to round up. Learn to work with people, learn to ask questions, and learn to learn from others. When you see one of them filling forms, writing out materials for patients, especially those going for CS, take pictures and keep with you, because someday it might be your turn to fill out the materials for a patient. And then you don't have the means to start calling someone or start asking questions. What if you're the only one on call on that day? Or you have your phone with you. You bring out your phone, you copy out all the materials, and as time goes on, when you keep writing these materials, you get accustomed to it. Always make sure that you have your notepad and your pen with you all the time. These are things you should have in your pockets. The forms, all the test forms, continuation sheets, gloves, whatever you can think of that can be useful to you, make sure you have them in your pockets, because your consultants might just need you to document. Now, one thing you should know is this: consultants don't document. You document for your consultants. Your consultants only dictate. That's another thing. You have to be a fast writer and you have to be a good listener, because your consultant does not want you to start asking, oh, sir, what did you say? Oh, please repeat again. No, they see it to be disrespectful. So they feel you have to catch up with them. So you have to be a fast writer and a good listener. And another thing that you get to do during your rounds, you get to present patients. So now you have your ward round today. What are you supposed to do? You count the number of patients you have on the ward. Note down the cases. If a patient presented with preeclampsia, all you need to do is to go back to read about preeclampsia. Because as you present this patient, your consultant will ask you questions, because they assume that, oh, you've been monitoring this patient, so you should have an idea of how to treat this patient, how to manage the condition. So they would ask questions around preeclampsia. They can even ask you, what is the definition of preeclampsia? What do you know about preeclampsia? How do they present? So internship is not just you running around the hospital, taking samples, citing lines. You also have to be open to learn more, to read more. So, these are things that you need to take note of. Be proactive, be nice, get your work done, don't be lazy. What is worth doing is worth doing well. Be open to all these things, learn all you can learn, because trust me, if you don't learn all these things as an intern, you can never learn them again. Because when you become a medical officer, become a registrar, who do you run to teach you the basics? Nobody. I would advise everyone to utilize their time really well for this internship. On a more serious note, so I feel basically that is all you need to know about internship. Prepare yourself, study, see every day to be a day to learn something new. So guys, that will be all I'm going to share about internship. So if there's anything missing, or if there are questions that you would like to ask or things that you would like to clarify, you can drop your questions in the comments section and I'll be glad to answer your questions. So till another day, guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share these videos. Have a great day, guys. Bye.